My next challenge is to create a Ninji coin. The Ninji is a speedrunning contest that Nintendo does in Super Mario Maker 2. They'll make a new level and release it out, and then everyone can try to complete it as quick as possible. Your scores are recorded. You can compare yourself to others. See, in this one, I was in 35-15 place in the whole world. Kind of cool, right? So, for the 35th anniversary of Mario, Nintendo came up with these fancy looking coins. Let me show you what they look like. And they gave them out to the fastest people in the world. Several hundred, which is a pretty small number of people, got these coins. A lot of streamers spent a lot of time playing the Ninja that week to get the best times, and they got rewarded with a super fancy looking coin. Some other streamers, Feanor809 for example, spent the week doing viewer levels because somebody's got to play him. So he was playing all the viewer levels and didn't get to get first place in the Ninja, which is a shame. Although he probably wouldn't have gotten first place anyway, because that's not really his style. He does it more like this. Here's an example from one of the latest Ninjas.
Start a new Ninja. Like, the way I do Ninja runs is not for the faint of heart. Like, if you are of the faint of heart, like, this is the part in which you... Nobody can take this. Like, no, most people cannot do this.
Here's the Ninja before that.
Time out, you dove. There you go.
And the one before that. And the one before that.
It's a little tradition that we got here to see who's the last. Congratulations, Perico.
I think you get the gist. Feanor's, he deserves a medal for that, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm making him a medal. This is going to be the inspiration, but I might adjust from there. So I'm going to start off by seeing if I still have Inkscape. I do on my computer. I'm going to make the design in Inkscape, which is like Photoshop or GIMP, except it does vector art, which means you can resize it. And since I don't know how big of a coin I want to make, I'm going to do it in vector art. Then I can easily resize it without any type of loss. It's so unprofessional to have your phone ring in the middle of a video. I'm gonna do both. Here's how they print it out. I'm saving ink, so that's why they look weird in the middle. I decided that just the head ones didn't look good at all. So we're going with just the bodies. It looks goodish. I'm a little intimidated by how small these letters are. He's a little close to the bottom, so on this one I did move it up a little bit. And let's see here. I made 4 copies. I hopefully will not need more than one. I also made a blank. So this is what I'm going to attempt to engrave. I filled it up with wax. Now I'm going to see if I can get it out of here. And then I'll engrave it. Okay. The bottom looks a little sandy because I used my sand wax. I made it a lot thicker than I need it to be. The coin's not going to be that thick, so don't have to worry about the bottom. Don't have to worry about the bottom anyway. My X-Acto blade that I plan on carving with does not have a blade in it. Don't know where that ended up. So I'm going to bust out the shaving supplies and do a little handheld blade action. These are super sharp, super bendy. Don't know if that's going to help or not. I'm going to start by just trimming the edge. It's definitely lifted up a lot. So we'll just try to get a flatter surface. The 100 grit sandpaper actually works very well. If I hadn't started with that hand razor blade and messed up this side so bad, it would be looking good right now. It is slightly smaller. I was afraid of that. I also expected that. Okay. The plan here is to just make it work somehow. Good enough. This is my idea that I want to test. I'm going to pierce this right there. Pierce it again to hold the paper in place. These are areas that I will be cutting down anyway. And then I want to see if I pierce this, can I see it underneath? This was my mother's idea. And I can see it. So I think I'm just going to trace my outline with some needlepoint work. And then I'll try to carve away the outline. So just, since this is a lot of blocks, I do every corner. And then I'll know to come in and connect the dots, essentially. His foot's off the corner here, and the words are off the corner here. So, let's see how it goes. Mario's looking pretty good, right? The T, I angled the blade the wrong way and broke the stem off, the very first letter that I tried. Okay. Came up easily, which is good. Now let's see how good an impression we have. It's better in some spots than others, but I can definitely see a Mario. It's obviously more defined in this corner rather than this one, but you can actually see depth, which I feel like should come across in a coin if I cast it as well. So, that's, I don't know, that's something. Progress, right? I just did a test mold, and I appear to have found the limit of how hard you can whack wax with a hammer. So let's take it apart and see what the damage is. So the damage seems pretty extensive. finished carving my replacement coin. I made some of the same mistakes as on the first one, like his feet are right at the edge. It's not as centered as it should be. But overall, I like this one more. Hopefully it holds a shape. Hopefully I don't destroy it with a hammer. Anyway, in the meantime, another Ninji has come out. Both Fëanor and I played it, so I'll show you how that went now.
The time has come to beat the last. Okay, no more shenanigans. What's the key? What's the key, bro? Oh man, I gotta do everything again? It's the moment of truth. That is really good. That is really good. That is really good. That is really good. Oh my god.
Game audio, I don't know if I can fix. I can fix getting world records though. That I know how to do. Uh, 76,000. Pretty good position, I think. And now let's see about melting a bolt into the back of it so that I can easily pull it up out of the sand. Potentially going to melt a bolt all the way through Mario, which would be very disappointing, but hopefully not. To explain some of the clips that you just saw, I did make this coin, but I made it as practice. I'm trying to join Team I Tried, so I wanted to really try with this one. It was my first time casting, my first time sanding it, polishing it, stamping it. That's what I was trying to do with those screwdrivers. So it was a lot of practice. Even it's silver. I made it out of aluminum, which is known as street silver, but it looks like a second place metal. Fëanor's is obviously going to be made out of gold. So what's happening now is making the metal, finally. As I said, I'm going to make it out of gold, or more specifically, aluminum bronze. So I've got about 900 grams of copper and 100 grams of aluminum. Together, they're going to make 1,000 grams of gold. I'm going to put this in the crucible. Melt the copper first. The crucible goes in. The gas turns on, and the furnace gets lit. Now the lid goes on the crucible, and the furnace gets, or the gas gets turned on much higher. Now while that's heating up, I'm going to make the mold. Mario goes in face up, and then I put some baby powder on to help it release. This will make it release from the sand. Now I feather it a little bit with a brush so that it's not as covered in baby powder. Make sure it gets in all the creases. He's got a lot of tight little joints here. Now I'm going to use my homemade green sand through a strainer to make sure there are a bunch of fine pieces all covering him. That's probably enough. It's covered that. So now I'll pack in the sides a little bit. Once I'm done this. Okay, I'm done. Just manually distribute it around the sides. And now go for a little pat down with the hammer. not as aggressively as last time. Okay. Now I was able to melt the nut in there like I wanted to. So I'm hoping that I can just pull this up now. Give it a little tap for good luck. Okay, that pulled up much easier than I thought it would. I was a little unprepared. I tapped the edge. But blowing on it really helped. It blew away the loose strands without adding any. It looks pretty clean. Let me show you close up. It's not perfect, like right there is not the best angle. That's going to be partially filled in, and right there as well. But I think it looks pretty good. The sand looks very dense, it looks flat. You don't see a lot of granules. So hopefully it won't be as bumpy as the other one turned out. The copper is super molten in there. Give it a good stir. I've already skimmed off the dross, so it's looking pretty pure in there. Now I am going to add the aluminum. And it's odd. There goes half of it. So that melts up pretty quickly, probably because the copper's 2,000 degrees, which is fairly hot. I'm going to give it a stir. It looks like it's seizing though, so I'm going to toss it on, put the heat back on, get this mixed up again, liquefied again. It looks pretty to me. It is also glowing, so the coin might double as a nightlight. We'll see. I suspect the glowing might stop, but no sign of it yet. Let's go for a little quench to cool it down before Fëanor gets it. Spoilers, but it turned out amazing. I don't need to wash that sand off. I'm liking how it's come out so far. I tested sanding again on the bronze, and I don't really like that. So I'm going to go with the nice flat matte look on the coin. Now I'm going to stamp in Team I Tried across the top. I'm going to try to at least. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to start with the M. Did I miss it? Alright, we're gonna try that again, but better. Precision, hitting it with the right angle, is much more important than strength. Now I know for next time. But all the letters are in there. Some of them even have shadows. I finished stamping all the letters, and then I got my brother to repeat stamping all of the letters because he was much better at it than I was. But it's still very faint. They're not very deep, and it's just hard to see from far away. You can read it, Team I tried up close, but from far away it's not super visible. So I got the idea of let's paint in the recess. I practiced it on my practice coin, and I think it looks great. You can clearly see the letters from farther away. I'm using super special black 3.0 super black paint, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that to this now. Hashtag Team I tried. I'm gonna let it dry. Probably do a second coat because it went on pretty easy. I haven't messed it up yet, so might as well test my luck by doing a second coat, right? Doing some finishing touches to the back of it here. Fenor809, the captain of Team I Tried. Go check him out on Twitch and YouTube. Challenge complete. You wanna see some gold, Mama?
Oh, wow. That is cool.